People say that video game voice actors are better.
He had everything. A wonderful wife, a brilliant daughter.
Their performance sounds more intimate, humane and natural. It's rare to hear that in movies.
It's pretty, isn't it, old sport? Haven't you ever seen it before? It's all a custom job. Supercharged engine.
But the difference is not down to talents, but to intent and unique conditions. Once I'll prove it to you, it will change how you hear them. The main difference is the non-linear approach in games versus linear in movies and TV shows. Games are interactive and, depending on the game, can have thousands of voice lines.
Oi, you! Come here! Where do you think you're going?
Into the camp, of course.
Oh, aye. They can't wait to see you.
Baldur's Gate 3 apparently recorded hundreds of hours of dialogue with thousands of voice lines. Even the most extended cut of any film wouldn't have that.
Oh, hello. My name's Astarion, and you're watching Dan Allen. Gather your party and venture forth, darlings.
In linear stories, it's about the whole performance, the arc of the character. Each line has to be precise. Now in games, it's all about adaptability, as voice actors often just get a spreadsheet of multiple lines without the full script.
You point, I punch. Villainous face, meet virtuous fist.
They record the lines in isolation and have to be ready to quickly deliver what is required.
In which you said that the script was rather substantial. How many lines of dialogue do you have in the Old Republic?
I could not even begin to guess. I mean, I really couldn't. It's almost like living a whole life.
Plus, of course, it still needs to sound continuous in a game, no matter which line will be played.
This is nothing, Uncle. I've run the numbers. 2 days, maybe less. And your office is at the bottom of a sinkhole.
So voice acting in games requires quick skill delivery, while movie acting is about becoming the character in every way.
If the ocean is so smart, why didn't it just take the heart back to Tafiti itself? Why didn't it just bring me my hook? The ocean's straight up kooky dukes!
And while the game voice actors also understand the background of the characters, the task is to deliver multiple variations depending on what the player actually triggers.
We used to record dialogue for circumstances that you wouldn't think necessarily would happen, but some player would eventually come up with it. For example, if you hogtie an NPC, and if you put hogtied NPC right underneath the ass of a horse, and if you wait long enough for that horse to eventually defecate, some NPCs will actually have dialogue specific to that.
No way. Quoting a voice director, it's more like a 3D map than a single thread. For video games, the actors usually record the lines in a vocal booth, alone. So the microphone is positioned in a close-up rather than a boom mic above the actors on set.
Video games, I kind of have that same experience with it being a little bit more technical, because you're working alone, and you have to be pretty quick at interpreting the copy.
If there is a dialogue going on, either the director will feed the lines, or there will be just kind of silence. So they have to pretend they are conversing, which gives the games that distinctive close-up sound.
Surprise! You fell for the old sick Joker gag, Batman.
Now, when you contrast this with a film set, it's just easier to replicate the emotions and the drama face to face. And there's also more room for quick changes to the script.
Never start with the head. The victim gets all fuzzy. He can't feel the next.
And yes, a lot of dialogue is later re-recorded in a process known as ADR. It's the same actors mimicking what they already did on the set in the actual recorded picture.
Marlon Brando is said to have purposely mumbled his way through his lines in order to
forced producers to ADR his scenes. During the ADR session, he could finally craft his performance based on seeing the context in the rough cut of the film.
Saying that, some big-budget games try to employ the ensemble production with mocap, especially for cinematic cutscenes which mirror movie productions.
Working with Christopher Judge, who was the voice and also motion capture performer for Kratos, has been one of the best experiences I've had in my career. A lot of the motion that comes through in the cinematics especially really is just him becoming Kratos.
The difference in sound between games and other formats is also the performance style.
Where's Foreman?
He's in the bathroom.
Good. Come on, let's go for a walk. Walks look good on camera. They give the illusion of the story moving forward.
The target audience is different. So in games, it's all about the player and building a world that is believable. And because of that, the voice delivery has to be more nuanced than melodramatic.
I play Benny, who is a very driven, kind of rat pack type guy.
Baby, you can't just leave me tied up. Those Legion boys will put me on a cross for the mess you made, if I'm lucky.
It of course depends on a game, but spending hours with an overacted character would be tiring, unless it's a part of a character.
Like I said, baby, all Benny needs is a stealth boy and a bobby pin.
You know, you seem to really get the idea behind the character.
Any questions you got, I'll answer.
In narrative games, it's all about pulling the player in, making them part of the world. Especially, in modern gaming, the style is grounded and realistic.
So, Americans, are you going to the concert tonight?
Oh, Jeb here is. He's a big fan of DK for ain't Jeb.
Music makes me happy. What's wrong with that, Wayne? Nothing wrong with that, Jeb.
Plus, on more practical side, the actors have so many lines to record, using their natural voice is just sensible. It would be hard to sustain some extreme accent or cartoonish delivery.
Hey you guys, welcome to Gamescom 2017. I'm Geralt of Rivia. I've been enjoying meeting all the fans and seeing
Duck! What? We talked about that. Just one sentence.
I just wanted to ad-lib a little bit, funny.
Yeah, cool.
And that's part of why game characters can often sound more humane, like regular people, than movie actors. It's a mix of direction and practicality.
It's you! Killer! Monster! You bastard! You killed my husband! You know that?
While, as we know, in movies, the audience is passive, so dramatization and often theatrical delivery is what not only we expect, but what helps to sell the story.
You're sheltering enemies of the state, are you not?
Yes.
Some games are tens of hours long, even hundreds. Movies and even TV shows don't have that luxury, they don't have that time. They need to be more intense to get us on board.
You speak our language. How do you speak our language?
Because of the fast pace and long hours of game voice recordings, the sound is more about endurance than nuance. Voice actors will record line after line after line, so the general tone has to be locked in quickly. Experimentation takes a back seat, while consistency takes priority.
The interesting thing is anytime you're doing a voice session, you're really relying on the director, and if they sign off on it and go, gee, that's great. I mean, now, there are times where you go, well, could I try that one more time? I think I could do it a hint better.
Plus, as opposed to movies where this is limited, all the grunts, and efforts and shouts, like for video games, cannot be repeated too often during the play. So the voice actors need to record more takes, which is also taxing.
Voice acting is tough. It's a lot tougher than what people think, especially for video games, because you're not just doing one take for one option, you're doing every option available to the player.
Grunts, groans, yells, and gasps are so important to the voice performance.
I think one of the hardest things is doing or, okay, now you're getting electrocuted.
90s video clip.
Okay, now you're dying by fire. Okay, now you're dying by electric fire. What?
Now, these sounds, called efforts, are critical both in fight scenes and for player feedback. While in movies, these are often recorded on set, and yes, sometimes layered later in the studio. For video games, these sessions are a separate task that can take hours and physically hurt the voice.
I can't find where they moved
So to be a great voice actor, it's not just about how you can deliver a line, but also if you can shout and yell for hours on end.
All right, I want you to scream as if someone threw a grenade at you. Okay, scream as if you just saw the Yeti. Okay, scream as if someone threw a grenade, but turns out it's a rock.
The voice and, what's more important, the stamina became a required element of each audition. The difference lies in the approach and a more controlled style than in linear stories where shouts only really happen during a dramatic scene. And the physical demand is no joke. So in 2016 and 17, voice actors went on strike to demand better protections and conditions when doing these long recording sessions.
Vocal stress, wherein SAG-AFTRA seeks to protect performers' voices by limiting hours of vocally stressful recording sessions.
They argued that game studios pushed them too hard, causing long-term vocal damage, just to get the lines done as quickly as possible. Many video games were criticized for awful voice acting, especially in the past.
Find anything, Jill?
Nothing. What is this all about? I can't figure it out at all.
And yeah, it's not that there aren't bad voice actors, but if you think about their long recording sessions, the vocal strain, no script, no character background, sometimes the voice actors didn't even know what game they were doing. It's hardly the fault of the actors when the final dialogue sounds cringeworthy.
Now I know what's going on. The military has mistaken me for the likes of you. So, where do you think you're going with that emerald?
Voice acting is not as easy as just reading lines to the microphone, and bad voice acting clearly shows it.
Right, because if I have to learn anything, it's that you have to tune out the noise. Only thing that matter is what happened between the lines.
And the last, more technical point that makes the game voices sound different is audio mixing. So in movies, the sound is kind of static. The mix is a final decision by the director. In games, it's up to the player, or what the player does in a particular moment.
That attempt at strangling will cost you. You'll either pay in groschen, or your back will feel the cane.
Wait, I'll explain everything. I just wanted to hug her. To surprise her from behind. Women love that, I've heard.
What? Really?
The sound mix is fluid. Now, to achieve that, game dialogue must be recorded in a studio booth with a closed mic as a dry recording, no effects. While, for our shows and films, a lot of dialogue will have the scene's acoustics on it.
Elevar!
Aloft Elevar!
No, from your heart's fire!
Aloft Elevar!
Heart's fire!
A game engine in real time has to manage the environment, but at the same time make the dialogue stand out among the fights, the music, and other sound effects.
Just made it out. Roger.
This type of dynamic mixing adds that intimate flavor to the game voices, like they are quite near us all the time, talking into our ears. In linear storytelling, drama and cinematic impact often take over a so-called readability of the dialogue.
I'm where the Sierra's gone. There will be nothing.
And the voice can be a part of what makes the scenes memorable. It's not just there to convey information.
Documents are vulnerable to fire? Absolutely. I was trying to say water damage for these premises. We don't use sprinklers.
Game voice is much more context dependent, while film voice is part of the artistic element of portraying a character.
Goulash of necrosis, much onion.
Onion rotty must be.
Game voice actors must have sharp adaptability, endurance, and line delivery skills. But saying that they are better than movie actors is wrong. The difference is not talent, but the intent. And while one performs a scene, the other performs for the player.
My teddy! I haven't got my teddy, Dad!
You must have left it somewhere in the house. Do you have any idea where it could be?
No, Dad. Please, I can't sleep without him.
That's too bad, Sean. Time to sleep now.